Yash. See, I like paradoxical techniques, or kwans, or whatever you want to call them. Try to not be aware. Automatically, that throws you into awareness. It's like, okay, I'm going to try not to be aware. Damn it, I'm being aware. Like, I don't want to be aware. Throws you deeper into awareness, consciousness, our true self. That shows we're always aware. You cannot get away from awareness. I've said before, strip everything down, take everything away, forget having consciousness with your body, your mind, your emotions, your sensations, everything. Check out. Just for a few seconds, you can do that. Anybody can do it. It's when the mind projects and says, oh, but I can't do that all the time. Not saying do it all the time. I'm saying just do it for a few seconds. So you stop all that. You switch all that off. Okay, now I'm still aware. Okay, switch that off though. I don't want to be aware. Can't do it. You cannot switch off our fundamental essence, which is our true self. That's why it's like, why do volumes and volumes of books have to be written about self-realization? When it's the most fundamental, only thing that's true. It's cool. Why am I making videos on it? Because it's fun. Because when you come to realize that that's really the highest joy. I was going to make a video saying self-realization is really the only thing that's going to give us contentment. When we come to that realization, first we have to believe it. How do you believe it? By trying everything out here and see that nothing works. Nothing we're still going to be dissatisfied. Once we realize that, then something, the consciousness through evolution starts to believe these spiritual texts or books or teachers that say only you can find your sukha inside. So then you start that process. And then when you start to discover how it feels when you, the consciousness, are just paying attention to its own self, you're like, damn, this is pretty good. And then you realize, wait, this keeps getting better actually. Wait, this actually never ends. This is what they mean when they say it's like eating a cake and or a fruit, let's say fruit, because we're trying to be healthy. It's like eating a mango that just keeps getting sweeter and sweeter and sweeter. And you never get bored. And it never like becomes like, okay, I want something else. No, more. It's the opposite. It's like, no, I want this more actually. Wow, it's been years. I still want this more though. And so then everything kind of collapses into that. But you don't become like stupid. You don't become a hermit who just thinks he's better than everybody and he's self-realized. You still do everything you do, but you're not attached to it. And so the joy that's coming from you gets projected into what you're doing, and you're enjoying yourself and other things and other people. And there's going to be times you forget that and you're going to mess up, so to speak, and you're cool with that because you understand there's no perfection. Nobody gets perfect. There's always something that's going to play on a human level, something. And you give yourself space for that. And if people judge you, so, oh, you're not spiritual, you say, okay, cool, man. You better not hang out with me then. Go find yourself some spiritual, non-dual oaks. Go do that, see? And you end up finding people where you have total acceptance of each other. But you might have to walk alone a little bit before this higher principle, this law of attraction kicks in. It wants to see that you're stable in yourself. I've said before, we get what we want when we stop wanting it. This whole game is just so paradoxical. What was the subject? Damn, I forgot. Start flowing. Try to not be aware. This is a great technique. This is a spiritual practice. This is a sadhana, and you can do this every moment that you can remember. You don't need to wait till you wake up in the morning to do your practice. You can go to sleep doing this. And you don't need, if you've already woke up and you're going through your day, you don't need to count down until the evening when you do your meditation. If that's a routine that you do. You can still do that, but in the meantime, practice that technique. Try to not be aware. And automatically you get thrown into awareness. Now, there's going to be times, of course, There's no like elixir. There's no like permanent loophole. I used to think that about plant medicine because it was just so, it was so good for me when I first did it. Because I had already worked through all this, you can say, subterranean hiding issues in myself, and that a lot of times plant medicine's designed to bring up. I had already done that through just constant self-introspection and sadhana and fasting and everything else. So when I found plant medicine, I was like, whoa, it didn't have anything to do, nothing to work on. So it just became pure like awakening energy. And I was like, this is it. This is it. This is what you do. The problem is when that would wear off, after that got metabolized, those old patterns and habits of like Tamasic energy and everything that would still be there. See, why did I share that? The point is there's no loophole. There's no technique or practice or anything that is just going to make everything easy. I got to make a video too on sudden enlightenment. Do you want to hear about that? I need to know what the people want to hear about because I don't know who you are. A few of you, like, like we know each other, even though we never met. But, let's say I have 4,000 subscribers. And then who knows all the people that watch it that don't subscribe. I don't know, like what do you want to hear about? I don't want to make videos, and I'm making these for you. I'm not making them for me. There's some people that make videos, they just like to hear themselves talk. I get juice from making videos that appeal to the people that want to hear what I'm sharing. So, yeah. Why was I talking about sudden enlightenment, though? Oh, it's not like they did something. They just found something, and they did it, and boom, sudden enlightenment. That's another trap in the non-dual realm. Somebody hears, I don't exist. Their imagination takes that, formulates some kind of image of how they think it looks to not exist, and then they think they're awake. So we can't skip the process of evolution, but God puts these tools and techniques here to kind of help accelerate things. And this is one of them that I'm sharing. Try to not be aware. It's just like when you do that, it just throws you deeper into awareness. You can't help it. Now, you might be in a situation where something's intense and people are yelling at you and and then something says, okay, I'm gonna try not to be aware, but the energy's too strong. You're like caught up in the matrix for that moment. That's cool. We're here to experience life. You don't walk around with some halo over your head no matter, and just stay like that. If you're at the beach, somebody gets killed in front of you, it's not like that. You get caught up sometimes. That's part of life. Consciousness wants to get caught up, so then it can experience what it's like to not get caught up. There has to be some friction to keep this body here. If you stood, there's people that say if you stay, there's the scriptures and sutras and shastas, etc. If you stay in nirvikalpa samadhi too long, some say 18 days, some say 21 days. Who knows? Point is, if you're in equilibrium, or your sattvic gana is activated for too long, you're just not going to live anymore. That's why a lot of these yogis, they'll have a heart attack or brain aneurysm or something. You can't channel all that energy and keep this body. So there has to be some friction sometimes. What's friction? Ego, identity. There has to be some of that. Don't let the mind trip on that, and don't believe others' minds who try to project their silly ideas onto you and say, oh no, but that, you shouldn't do that. Like, you can't help it. What are you going to do? You shouldn't do that. What does that mean? You shouldn't do that. This whole show's running itself. It wants to do that, it's going to do that. Now, I can say those episodes get less because process of evolution, but the pure self just isn't involved in any of this. It's not involved in the getting caught up. It's not involved in the awakening. It's the space in which this whole show takes place in. The awakening isn't for your true self. The awakening is for the mind projected self, the silhouette self that the pure consciousness created for the game of evolution. So enjoy it and understand. You're going to have ups, you're going to have downs. But what happens through evolution, spiritual evolution, the ups aren't like boom, and the downs aren't like, grr. You see, this is more chill, it's more chill. But it never gets flatline, then you wouldn't enjoy, you wouldn't experience, wouldn't, so it's always going to be something forever. That's what it's going to be. All right, let me know.